All right, how you doing, Anton? Yeah,
Chilling,
you know
chilling.
me.
What's the
I'm
word?
Payne. I've been around.
Yeah, you
Hey,
been
listen,
around. What up, though?
I disagree from the standpoint you sound absolutist. I
Mhm.
believe that prenups work. I do believe that if they're written properly, and there's steps you have to take, and there's also a man with that much uh, assets moving forward, he has to have a legacy somehow,
What?
right? There's a couple.
So you
So
saying
see,
that? So you saying that a man that is making a significant amount of money, um, should put himself in harm's way of having to pay a significant amount of child support just because he want to have kids?
no, well, hold on. Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, Anton, you have one. You had to go through a deep process to have the one you have. You talked about that many times.
I was okay with not having none.
No, I hear you, but you're not the norm. Okay, you're not
I am.
because
I'm what normal. Listen, I would say this, Arpain. I'd say that I am what normal is supposed to look like. We've perverted what normal looks like, and that everybody
not
is
having
not moving.
kids.
Is everybody is not? No, normal is making an informed decision and a responsible decision based off of the circumstances that you live in society. It's not about whether or not you're having kids. We live in a society now where we're technologically advanced. There's a whole lot of people on this earth. We live in an America that's basically becoming Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't want my kids to be raised in an indoctrination camp. We know that it costs a significant amount of money to actually put a kid in a position to be successful long term. And so, what normal is adapting to the environment and making an informed decision. I would say that I'm more normal than anybody.
No,
Yes.
no, brother. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, you listen. Maybe we might evolve into what you're saying, but you are so far ahead of the average rank and file human being,
That has
right?
nothing to
In
do
the
with making an
percentage.
informed decision.
No, wait. Let me finish. Let me just
Okay.
finish this from the standpoint of procreation. Okay, I can't disagree with what you just said, but for you to think that the average rank and file man or woman, for that matter, but men would think just as what you just said about the overpopulation of the earth. And let me think about how bad the earth is right now to bring children into it. The average person is not thinking that. So the
Yeah,
so
but I
so
mean, but that's why we've always had people over us, your father, your mother, to help you make a more informed decision when you didn't have the brain development to actually make the decision for yourself.
no, I don't disagree with that, but you're almost advocating for the extinction of the human race
Now
based
you
on what
know
you're
that there
saying.
will be no extinction of the
That's well,
army of
that's
Romans that's walking
I
around here.
no. I do know that. That's why you're going to always be in a level of thought that's going to be in a minority because the average person is not going to think like you. However, he could make more informed decisions than the hyenas out there breeding like
So,
people in the forest. I mean,
so
like animals in the
you
forest.
think that a man that has been significantly successful should get married to a woman that has been with multiple different women, because we know that it's like a 98% chance that whoever it is that he get, she's already done gave her body over and her virginity and the best of herself to somebody that didn't deserve it. You
I
think that
don't
that
think he
man
should.
should marry that woman?
No, no, I don't think he should. I think if a man is that well off and he's worried about his legacy in terms of assets, he can seek out a more pure woman than just picking up some random chick from
Where?
the streets.
Where in America? Where in America
No,
can?
no. Well, why would his hunting ground just be the West? I would look to the East. I would look to people where the culture dictates what kind of women you have. I wouldn't be worrying about marrying some black chick or somebody. I would if I was
But
that
why get
wealthy.
married at all?
Well. Let me finish. He doesn't have to get married. If he does get married, he'd have to have a prenup, right? Done the right way. Second, if not get married and he wants children, he had to find a surrogate that he could buy his children, like Michael Jackson.
No, man.
Yes,
No,
you can do that.
no.
I mean, tell me,
Why?
what
Okay,
is
but
he
wait,
gonna?
wait, wait. But the conversation is based off of why getting married, though, right?
Yeah,
Why would
okay.
this man that has already built his legacy ever get married to what it is that he?
I wouldn't get married in the West, that's for sure. Not like that. Even with the prenup, scares the hell out of people too, because they find ways around it. But there's ways. Listen, if you're that, you can have a prenup. You know the steps to go through to have a prenup that's better than somebody with something on a napkin, right?
Well, what's the
You have a
okay? But
lawyer.
I get that. I don't disagree with you that there was ways in order to do it right. What I'm saying is, a man that's already established himself. What is the benefit of marriage?
Because he's a human being. But humans,
That
you
is not a
let's
reason.
no no no.
Give me a
Okay, you didn't let
tangible
me.
reason of what is the benefit of marriage for this guy that is established. I'm not talking
Okay,
about a
okay,
young man
okay.
that hasn't built
Support.
anything or anything like that, and he's gonna marry
I hear you. I hear you.
and a
I hear
chick
you.
that's a virgin. What is the benefit of marriage? Let's say I'm 41 years old, right?
Yes,
Let's say I
yes.
get divorced today. My daughter is already
Okay.
grown, or not grown, but she's 15 and she's gonna be grown out of high school in a few years or whatever like that, right? Let's say
Right, right.
something happened to where a life event with my wife, because I would never get divorced, right? But let's say a life event
Okay.
happened, right? What's the benefit of me getting married today?
Okay. First of all, you're not a good example. Let me say why you're not.
Why?
Because you already. But I like your example. I want to answer the question without making it you,
Okay.
because you already have a daughter who's your legacy.
I don't
Men,
look at
some men,
legacy as I don't look at legacy
but,
as
but most men do.
but I
Most men
don't.
do.
I don't believe that legacy is kids. Okay, so give me an okay.
Yeah. So
What
that's what
wait,
I
wait,
want to
wait,
say.
wait, wait. What is Martin Luther King's kids doing?
Okay, I didn't say there should be a guarantee of outcome for your legacy. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I did not say that, brother. I just said some people just like to.
Bill Gates'
I'm
daughter is getting buzzed down by a black guy right now.
I'm
Bill
just saying.
Gates'
Well,
daughter
first
is
of
getting
all, I
buzzed
don't
down
think
by a
it.
black guy right now.
I don't feel that it's a downgrade for his daughter to be bust down by a black guy. Because I don't look at black people that
But
way.
but but the legacy that he wants is defined by him, not by what his daughter. It doesn't matter what you think. It only matters who the person that had the
Yeah,
kids think.
no,
And if he
I
don't
agree
want,
with
if
you.
he no 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 no, if his intention to have kids was to be defined according to what his purpose is and what his legacy wants to be, and it goes completely off the rails as a result of it, then what legacy is that?
Can I answer?
Yeah,
First of all, you keep trying to confine me to these eaches that is not real life. Okay.
it is
However,
real life.
we don't know how Bill Gates feels about his daughter being bust down by the brother. We don't know. Let's come back to kind of reality for a second.
Our pain. Are we really doing this?
Okay, okay. So maybe he has a little angst about this about it. Okay. Let's get to a more general conversation. Okay. If I'm rich, if you're rich, and you're worried about the laws in the West, which you should be, but you still want children. How do you solve that problem? Right now, I'm not asking the question, it's rhetorical. How do you solve that problem? If you're a man and you want children, some men want children, even if they're rich. I know being married to any hyena or person who wasn't a hyena when you married her, that doesn't mean she won't turn into a hyena after you marry her. So you have to find a woman who has a cultural background
You
if you
don't
want a
think that
wife.
them women is chameleons over there? I'm
No,
over
no.
here. No, 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 no. I'm in the
There they
Dominican.
are.
I'm in the
There are,
Dominican
man. We
Republic.
going to the.
I'm in the Dominican Republic right now, and these chicks
No,
is.
you can't count the Dominican Republic. You can't count the women. Come on, man. You can't count the
Okay, so
Dominican.
tell me where to go.
Let me just finish the scenario. There's two choices for a man, right? If you want kids as your legacy, forget about the wife for a second. There's two ways you could do it. You could get married with as much of an ironclad prenup as you can. You can, so the kids could be within your wedlock, or you could do surrogacy. Right? You can have a surrogate woman to give you kids. You don't have to have nothing to do with the chick. You don't have to have anything to do with it. Those are your kids. You pay her a lump sum amount of money. Chick, give me the kids. Get the hell out of here.
What's the
And,
good
and,
amount of
and
money that I should have to pay her?
well, it's a negotiation with you and the honey. Right? That's a negotiation with you and the honey and her lawyer and your lawyer. I mean, I'm
So
serious.
I gotta get a legal precedent in order to be able to have kids now. You know how
Why you
crazy
can't?
this sounds.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you are you advocating that because you have money, you should just go through the rest of your life with nobody to have a companion with?
I didn't say money was a factor. I said that I gave a lot of
You
different
said it
factors.
was rich.
But that wasn't the only thing I said. I said that he was a good, upstanding gentleman, that he doesn't have any kids out of wedlock, he honors his parents, that he's God fearing.
Okay.
I gave a whole list of things that
That's the
makes
kind
this
of
man
man
a
who's going
great
to
man.
want to
He has
have
a
a
great
family.
network, huh?
That's the kind of man who's going to want to have a family.
Fair enough. I'm not taking that away. I'm saying that when you look at the risk versus the rewards, is it worth
I,
him putting everything that he built
and
his entire
no,
life
it's
on the line?
not. No, it's not without safeguards. I agree with you. No, it's not without safeguards. So you have to put safeguards in
Ain't
there,
no
and you got
safeguards when you start having kids with a chick. Ain't no
but
safeguards.
but you know about risk, right? If you have kids with a
Yeah.
chick within marriage, that's one thing. If you have kids with a chick who you have a deal with on a surrogacy level, that's another risk. She might change her mind. However, there's almost a finite amount of money you might have to pay
You
her.
know what I think?
Right?
You know what my goal is if I didn't have kids?
What's that?
Or if I didn't
Okay.
have a kid? To spend every dime of it before I die.
Okay. All right. But you ain't that. Okay. You know, Anton, here's the one thing you can't accept.
What?
You are not the average dude. You don't think
Why
like the
not?
average
Yes, I
guy.
am. I'm very
N-
much the average guy.
No, 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 no.
I'm a good
Your
student.
personality is very great. You got a great personality for
Thank
where
you.
you are. But the average guy, even with money, might not think like you, right? So I'm serious. Even you didn't want no kids, but
You'd
it
be
may have said
surprised. There's
that
more guys that think like me than not.
maybe so. But listen. You might have advocated for no kids, but you know you got a daughter. You wouldn't turn in for the world.
What? But that don't have nothing to do with what we talking about.
But you found a way to do it and be happy doing it.
No, I gave the solution.
Not happy. I hate the word happy. You found a way to
I
do
said
it.
that guys need, if you're going to get married when you're poor and young to a person that is your best friend going in the direction that you're going in. That
Okay,
way
so
they
here
have just as much skin in the game as you.
okay,
They
so let
have
me
a
tell you one of
vested
my
interest in you
failings.
see being successful. They have a
I don't
vested
disagree.
interest in what y'all building together. But the scenario that I gave you was a guy that has already established himself based off of not being with somebody.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm trying to say, and I'm giving you his alternatives.
What's the
Because the
alternative?
one alternative, I agree with you, is that he shouldn't fall in love and get married based on some stupid shit like love. I agree with you there.
So he should
Because
get
if we,
married based off of what? You
well,
haven't
he's got
even
to,
no,
he's
Arpain,
got to make a business decision.
you haven't given me the reason why marriage makes sense for this guy in the first place. Outside of because you don't need to get married to have kids if you just want to get a surrogate and all
Well,
of that.
I gave you that one. I told you get a surrogate.
But what why should he get married though? You didn't give me that reason.
No, no, he doesn't. Listen, okay, I'm an advocate for marriage, right? But I'm an advocate for
Why?
marriage, but because let me tell you, I believe that is something innate about us to cleave to another person. Most of
So
us have done
you an
that.
advocate for marriage is based off of the fact that you like marriage.
But no, I don't just like it because I didn't have to get married. When I searched for my wife, there was something more than me that made me found the woman I
Oh,
have.
see,
But
you
let me finish.
skew,
Let
Arpain.
me finish this.
You skew. You're not
I'll give it
objective.
back.
You're not
All I'm just
objective.
trying to say, you don't have to get married, though, man. I agree with that.
You're not
That
basing this
man,
off of a realistic environment in which men are suffering today. You're basing this off of the fact that you like being married and you found a woman that's actually dope. We can't have the conversation based off of that. I'm not having a conversation
I agree
based
with
off
that. I
of our
agree with
relationship.
you.
I'm having a
I,
conversation based off of the current environment and circumstances that we live in today, and it is dire. It's
yes,
dire.
yes.
It's
That's
bad.
why. Well, hold on now. Let me tell you, I'm not trying to make everybody go back to the 1980s, okay? I'm trying to tell you in this modern era, there's guys who feel like me. So what do they do?
Stay
What do
single.
they do? What I'm saying, if they not even just feel, there's guys who think like me, who want to have a
Stay
wife,
single.
who don't want it. So what does a guy in this modern era with assets do? Does he
Stay
stay single
single
for the
and
rest?
travel the world and have a good time and
Well,
let the world
okay,
experience
yeah,
different
but
things and go and visit different countries and in environments and all that type of stuff. Why do guys base their existence off of a woman when in reality everything that
I,
they built was based off of everything outside of a woman? Why put themselves in
well,
a position to be the bullseye of a woman?
well, you can't have it both ways, Anton.
What do
You
you
can't
mean?
because you just well, let me tell you why you can have
I
it
don't
both
base my
ways.
life off of no
No,
woman.
but no, no, I'm not saying that. Forget about you basing your life. I'm not saying you basing your life on what you basing on. You have stream after stream, enough stream telling us that everything that's happening in this world has a woman in its base. Whether the guy,
Everything that suffers in the
yeah,
world,
whether the
it
guy's
comes as a
married to
result
her or
of the
not,
woman at the forefront.
whether the guy's married to her or not. So all I'm trying to say is a man's existence cannot be separated from a woman in his existence. Some men
Absolutely, it
just don't.
can.
No, but it's not.
A man's
You, it
purpose.
can be, but
Listen,
the
a
average.
man had a purpose before a woman was ever created.
No, see now you putting words in my. I didn't say that
Men
had to
had
be his
purpose
purpose.
before women ever existed.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't say that was well. Listen, if we want to believe in Adam and Eve, right? How long was he on the earth before God told him, "Hey,
We
give me
don't
a rib"?
know. We don't know
Yeah, yeah, well, why did God give him a rib and say, "Hey, put a woman there for"?
because he
Why
was
did he do
lonely.
that? Okay, so Adam was the first simp.
Yeah. Did you see what his wife did to him? Was
Listen,
it
man, you
worth
know
it?
what?
Should Adam have stayed by himself, or should he have
But it
sat
wasn't his
there and let that
choice.
hoe get bust down by the serpent? Then the serpent sent her over with some fruit and said, "Get this to your man." And then they got him kicked out of their home. They got him kicked out of the oasis, all because he was. Think about it. Think about it. Our pain.
I
This is
agree.
exactly my point. Think about it. This is exactly my point.
All right,
Adam
give you
got
some
kicked out of the
ammunition.
kingdom. He had the world at his feet. He named every animal. He could eat what he wanted. He was walking around naked. And this hoe got beguiled by something that didn't even have legs and got them kicked out of their home. And then he had to till the earth for the rest of his life.
Anton, he didn't ask for the woman. God gave him the
Punished
woman.
us.
Huh?
Punished us.
By giving by giving him the woman. By putting
Because we weren't content with what God had already gave us, and we wanted something else to get our rocks off. And so he gave us this evil height.
Adam didn't ask for the woman. Adam didn't ask for her.
But
God
he
said,
wasn't
"No."
content. He wasn't content.
Did they say that? I'm trying to think back to my Exodus days.
It wasn't
God
Exodus, it was
told
Genesis. It was Genesis.
Genesis. I mean Genesis days.
Uh-huh.
God didn't. He didn't tell God, "I'm not content." God said, "Listen, you know
He
what?"
didn't have to say it. It was in his thoughts. He was already lonely. And that's why God said, "Well, it's not good for this simp to be alone by itself."
You know what, man? You know what? You got a capital N going on, man. I'm just telling you, the need to be right. All I'm just trying to say is
Okay, so what
this,
happened? Listen. Before Adam, before woman, Adam might have been a little bit bored.
right?
However, the end result was they got kicked out of the oasis, and then they had a
Yes,
bunch of
I agree.
kids that wind up killing each other.
I, I mean, I can't argue there, man. I can't
Cain
argue with you
killed
there.
Abel because he wound up getting jealous because that hoe had a kid. And come on, man. Everything went to
So,
hell after
okay,
that. Everything went to hell.
so Anton, let me ask
They
you,
became the
you,
Canaanites. I know
okay,
my Bible.
let me also say to you, like, let's bring it back to 2023, right?
No, you just gonna skip over what it is that we just said?
Now, I agree with that. I agree with a lot of that.
So
I mean,
the woman
we can
sowed the
bet on.
seed of evil
eh,
inside of the garden, got him kicked out because she wanted to eat fruit, and on the one tree that God told her not to eat it from.
But Anton, after all of those centuries, do you think that no man ever had a thought like you for thousands of centuries? How can we still find our ways back to the chicks? I mean, you think we
Because we God knew that was our one weakness, man.
okay? It is our one weakness for a purpose. You know why? Do you
Why?
know why?
Why?
Because he wants to have more people on the earth. That's why humans don't mate during season. That's why as crazy as we are, he still put pleasure sensors on your Johnson and the woman's whatchamacallit, so we could always want to have sex. That's why you can't put females in a male prison and vice versa. You put men and women together, we're going to stroke. It's just going to happen. There's no way around it. So that rich man you're talking about, that rich man is not going to go through life without somehow busting down some chicks.
Listen,
He's not going to do it.
that guys bust down their hands. They gonna bust
Yeah,
down.
he's not. Okay, so I'm gonna spend all this time becoming a millionaire to use my hands. That's the last thing I want to use.
But dudes do it
I
all the
could
time.
do that as an incel.
Dudes do it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But besides the point, you're gonna want the nice, fleshy, earthy, real thing every so
But
often.
you moving the goalpost. The question is, why should a man that has established himself get
He
married
doesn't have to. He doesn't have
based
to get
off of the
married.
environment
He
that we
doesn't
live
have.
in Western culture today?
I agree with you. He does not have to get married. But if he wants children, he has to do something to protect his assets.
It's a bad deal.
Because, yeah, yeah, having children is a bad deal.
2023, it is. Yeah,
Being married, I concede the whole point. Even a prenup will
having
get your ass
children,
kicked.
having children in 2023 and beyond is a bad deal for men.
How you gonna tell some man that he shouldn't have kids when he got all this money and all
If
this
he knew
stuff?
what it was going to cost him and how much it was going, how many days it was going to take off of his,
And
I,
you
I
don't
think
think
that
you don't.
he would reconsider.
Well, he might be considerate, but he might want to have one or two. I mean,
No,
who,
if
he
he
doesn't want
knew,
nobody.
if most men were able to see how they were going to suffer as a result of the decisions that they make to have a kid with the woman that they have a kid with, I would bet you that they would choose not to have that kid.
I hear you, but that's why if you're rich, that's why surrogacy is an economic way to do it. That's an economic. If you're a multimillionaire, well, hey, suppose you have to
We're not
spend
talking about
three, four
multimillionaires. We
hundred
just
thousand.
talking about people in general.
People in general is never going to live. Okay, it's now you're bringing it down to my
A
level.
successful man don't have to necessarily be a multimillionaire.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that, and he's going to want to have children and a legacy. The average guy, the average successful man, wants children and a legacy. He does. I mean, you
And
can't
that's why I
deny that. I
know
mean,
it's still a bad deal, regardless of what they want. It's a bad deal.
all right, brother. But listen, I hear I hear what you're saying, and you have some points about us, especially about marriage. But you still haven't tackled the hurdle of a man wanting to see his seed carry on through history.
It's a bad idea. They need to let it go.
It's easy to say when you have a child. It's
It don't
easy
have
to say
nothing to
when
do
you
with
have
it.
your kid. It has everything to do with it, brother.
My legacy is not
It
defined
does.
by me having a kid.
No, 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 no. It's not. It's not. But your legacy is not completely under your control once you're gone, and some people are fine with that
Once I'm gone, what
because
the hell do I care? I don't even know what the hell is going on this earth no
yeah,
more.
that's exactly right. But at least there's somebody here with a blood marker that you were here. Not your
I
money.
don't care nothing
Nobody's
about
gonna
what
give a
they
shit.
doing.
It doesn't matter whether you care about what you're doing.
I do
And
because
here's my thing.
I'm the
Okay, let
person
me
that
tell
got
you
to have
why
a
I'm so
kid.
passionate. Can I tell you why I'm passionate about this? And I don't want to, take
Okay,
up your
go ahead.
time.
Let me see.
Okay, I keep the family tree of my family.
Okay.
From my grandmother and grandfather, who were in the greatest generation from 1900s till now. And from them, there's like 200 and something of us in the seventh generation now. And I can see, based on following the genealogy, how our family is being impacted by the degeneration of the black community. And it's
So
based on marriage.
wait. So stop there, Payne. So what you saying is that it's some pookies in your family.
Oh, yeah, you got that. We got a little bit of everything in the goddamn thing. You can't. I mean, we live in this world. We live in this world, brother. We live in this world. But all the way up to the
Oh,
baby boomer, all the way up to the baby boomers, most of us were married,
but I
right? And
mean,
maybe
gosh, like what's? Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
no, I'm finished anyway. So I can see that in Generation X, the millennials, and now Gen Z, how the The mindsets have changed. However, all the unwed babies in our family, and it's going to change soon. I keep telling these people that in my family, nobody went unfed, nobody went uneducated, nobody went homeless, right? And they, nobody, so nobody went hungry, right? Or whatever. I said that already. So the point is that safety net is dying off. So if they think the millennials are going to take care of their, bastard kids, they got another thing coming. And Gen Z, forget about it. You could starve in the street. They're going to step over your body Allen Iverson did to Ty Lue.
Tyrone Lue.
Yeah. So I mean, so I'm telling people that, but so I can see how the digression has went, and so I'm passionate for people saying, okay, if I can find the right woman or the right man, let's get married and make a bond, because that keeps the family strong. So I would
We
like
need
to be
to
able
we need to die off.
to.
We need to die off.
It's happening anyway, brother. It's happening anyway, whether we want to or not. We see it in front of our eyes.
I
So I
agree.
don't disagree with you there. Anyway, man, I don't want to hog this thing up, man. But I appreciate. Hey,
Thanks for
listen,
coming up, Payne. I
I
appreciate you.
like to get on one of your shows over there. One of these shows you got, man. I got
For
to
sure.
graduate. I like the Trigger Mike show, but I'm trying to put the best foot forward, but I keep failing one way. I got to get on one of your upper shows. I'll talk to you later, man.
All
Take it
right,
easy.
big dog.